likelihood it happens, having three teams at 12 and 6. 1-877-300-7275. Popping in next, the Premier. It is Premier's Picks. The King, however, got a notch up on him. I also want to get his thoughts on how Terrell Pryor looked to the Oakland Raiders on Monday Night Football against the Broncos. This is the Green Zone on News Talk Radio. Jamie and I, Glenn Suitor, and it is Premier's Picks. Premier Brad Wall on the line, and it'll be great to hear your voice this evening because we won't be hearing it for a few weeks as there's a trade mission to Asia. Who are you trading to Asia?
Well, maybe Gary. If someone's interested, we might trade date night, but I don't know. We'll see.
Ouch. Anyways, no talk about any videos this week, but what did you think of Terrell?
No.
What did you think of Terrell Pryor on Monday Night Football? I thought he showed a lot of promise in what could be for a young quarterback in Oakland.
I have never been more hopeful watching an absolute beatdown of the Oakland Raiders. Honestly, all the talk about how he can't be a pocket passer. Well, he did that. He got out of the pocket. I mean, he was able to score some points without McFadden playing very well, or at least get very many yards. Although McFadden threw the best pass of the night. He that great touchdown to Reese, I guess.
Yep.
And I'm hopeful. I really, really am. As long as Al's son doesn't fire everybody at the end of the year and start over, we've got to have some consistency.
He can't do it. Reggie McKenzie has a plan. He's got a lot of what they call dead money this year, which is money being spent to the likes of Carson Palmer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and it totals it's over $40 million.
$60 million in cap space next year, Jamie.
Yeah, and that's the money he'll have to spend next year, which is all a good sign. Suits, it's never a bad thing when the general manager has a lot of money to spend.
Right.
Hey, I call that a lot of money, not dead money. I don't know where that
well, it's dead money this year because they're paying all these guys money who don't even play for the team. That's why it's called dead money this year, but it's live money next year.
And I was ready for the video talk today, Jamie. I really was, because my answer to it would have been, I'm leaving the country. I'm doing whatever I can to try to help the team. I'm just leaving.
So, wait, do you leave before kickoff?
When's kickoff?
So you leave on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
So kickoff's 11 in the morning Saskatchewan time.
I think we're out of here. So hope springs eternal.
If they win back-to-back games, that means you can't come back, though, until like after the Grey Cup. And you have parties to host, isn't it?
Well, it's okay. We got a lot of wheat and potash to sell. I can stay on the road for a while.
It is the Premier's. Is it now annual trip?
No,
over there,
we do try to do a trade mission to Asia once a year. The market's just growing for us exponentially, and we want to go and say, A, thank you for buying our stuff, and B, would you like to buy some more? I don't think we can ever take that for granted. So we'll keep going back there. 29% of all of the Canadian imports into what's called the ASEAN region, the Association of Southeastern Asian Nations, 29% of all Canadian imports are from Saskatchewan. So we can't take that for granted. And not to talk shop too much, but we want to go and try to sell a bit more and say thanks for the relationship.
But it does explain where you're going to be for the next 2 weeks. And so we can't flip a coin for your picks. I'm getting this. Is that right? We can't flip the coin.
Can we text in our picks in advance, because Gary will trust the coin, but I'm more paranoid than that.
Especially now that he's only 3 wins back.
That's right. It's a scary time.
And the coin got him a 4-0 week. So.
And the only one that's more insufferable about a win than Rob Vanstone, i.e. the Denver Broncos, would be Gary Nickel pulling ahead in the picks.
A theme song after a coin goes perfect. Thanks.
Right.
Thanks, Gary. Anyways.
Entrance music, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, just before we get into the picks, can I just say this? There was a few of us having a discussion, and this is for Suits, about, we watch NFL too, and this isn't just because he's on the line or because he's a regular on Green Zone or because he's our guy. He's 27 in the kick and all that. But there's some pretty good play-by-play color guys in the NFL. Cuthbert and Suitor are at least as good, if not better, than the best that they have down there. I think we all came to that consensus.
Well, thank you. I mean, there's a lot that I watch, and I'm listening. When I watch NFL football games, first of all, I love the league as well, but I watch it with a very different perspective. I'm listening. How do they describe it? How do they draw it? How do they explain, the storytelling that goes on? It's a little different because they have 40 seconds in the huddle. So a little bit, they get actually double the time to talk about some things, but there are a bunch that I like to, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
I think, you know what, that would be a good segment on Green Zone sometime. We have the Premier CFL color guide, so it'd be interesting to hear from you, Glenn. Mm-hmm. Rank them. What do you think of Gruden on Monday night? Even the guys that do the games that aren't sort of the prime games. Rich Gannon, I think he's pretty good on color, but I'd like to hear from someone that does it for a living. That would be a good segment on the Green Zone to rate the NFL play-by-play color teams.
Well, we'll do that, absolutely. As it could be Gruden or Madden. Who do you got? But we'll save that. That's just a little tease. But speaking of Rob Vanstone, he just tweeted, so he's listening. Hi, Rob. Premier Brad Wall, me? Insufferable after a win? Well, absolutely. Peyton Manning says hi. That's Rob Vanstone's tweet.
That's very special, Rob. Thank you so much for that.
But I have to be in a studio with him on Friday night. That should be fun. Anyways, Gary the King Nickel on the line. Let's make some picks. Gary got a win last week with a 3-1 record because he picked BC, Toronto, Hamilton. Well, the Premier had two right, Edmonton and Hamilton.
Did I not get screwed a little bit by Winnipeg in that game? Can I not get some love for that?
No, you didn't. You won this week, Gary. The week that you win, you do it graciously. And you say, "Wow, that was good," and hope I can do as good this week.
As well.
But I'll guarantee you, Gary, the Premier is not.
Triple H. That's what Triple H would say.
The Premier is not going to take a knee for you. I'll guarantee you that.
No kidding. Well, I know he wouldn't do it. I'd like to think, Mr. Premier, I tried to take the heat off him with all this curse talk by taking the Lions last week, and, I tried to help him out, and then he comes back and just burns me for the whole segment. It's brutal. And secondly, don't hate the player, hate the coin. Hashtag.
Just take the wins with a smile on your face. There are no rouges in Premier's picks. There's no easy points. They'll be happy when you get them.
Fair enough. Who am I to talk?
I'm happy when I get them. It's blind, stumbling luck, I tell you.
Premier Wall, who do you got? BC, Winnipeg.
The Lions.
Oh,
Gary
man.
Nickel?
I was really thinking the Lions. I'm going to take the Lions, too, because I don't want to get too far back here. Let's go with the Lions.
Calgary at Hamilton. This could be a pretty good football game, Premier Wall.
I'm going to go with the Kent Austin Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Ooh. Well, then I will take Calgary.
Okay.
As we go to Toronto at Edmonton. Gary, you can go first on this one.
I will take Toronto, and as I'm sure my friend, Mr. Premier, also will take Toronto.
I will. I'm not doing it
that coming.
Gary just said that, but I will.
Oh.
Yeah, Toronto.
Here we go.
And, of course, the Premier won't be able to watch. He'll be in the air, or maybe he will, on the television and on the airplane. But Saskatchewan over the Montreal Alouettes, of course. Full disclosure, he always picks Saskatchewan. Gary, who do you have? Are you going to go with the Montreal Alouettes like the BC Lions last week?
Me being the forgiving guy that I am, I know this curse stuff is going to carry over all the way to Asia with the Premier, so I'm going to take it off his back.
I'm out of
one more try.
I'm out of the country. I can't do them any harm.
Oh, you can never get away from the Riders, Mr. Premier. We all know that. I will take it off your back, and I will take the curse again and take the Alouettes. I swear it'll work this time, Saskatchewan. I promise you.
There you have it. Premier, have a safe trip, and we'll look forward to your texts on your picks.
Just a quick shout-out to Saskatchewan Brewing Company, Great Western Brewery, who announced that Mark Cohen was in town. He was in Saskatoon this week. I had a chance to be there. The new CFL beer is a Saskatchewan beer, so that's fitting. Shout-out to them and to the Rams and Huskies. They're in action, of course, this weekend. So I think Huskies are at UBC, and I'm not sure who do the Rams have?
The Rams are away in Calgary this week, I do believe, or they have the bye week. I'd have to check my email. But also a shout out, Hilltops Thunder Premier, 4-1.
Yep, the old coordinator for the Thunder. That's who did my level 1 football SAS coaching certificate. So got a soft spot for the Thunder.
And Premier, safe travels once again.
Take care. Thanks, fellas.
There you have it, Premier Brad Wall and Premier's picks. We'll do the halftime trivia coming up after the news. So